Hi, welcome to another episode of Resting Easy with Chris and
Breezy.
And in this video, we're going to talk about our 3 favorite things and 1 lesson learned
On our trip to Venice.
But first, I'm going to show you some video and some photos of the trip, and then we'll come back and
talk about it. lot of footage, but I think we got some good stuff, and you definitely got some good.
Oh,
photos.
definitely good photos. Yeah. Yes.
But first on the list, first favorite thing, gelato.
Gelato.
Not just gelato in general. The coffee gelato from the Pizzeria de Michel, which was actually right across the street from our hotel that we stayed at. And they made it with a coffee that they actually used in the restaurant, and it was so good.
Very delicious.
Got it every night.
Every night.
And on the last night, I got a double scoop since I knew that would be it, which was kind of sad.
It's kind of sad. That's not the lessons learned, no.
No, that was just one of the favorite things.
The favorite things. Number one favorite thing of our whole trip down to Venice?
That gelato.
Gelato. Okay. But when you think about like all the things that are there, I mean, it was actually a pretty awesome city. I loved it. Of all the places that we've been to in Italy, Venice was my favorite. Okay. Just because of the atmosphere. So that would be, to me, one of my favorite things about the city of Venice. It was just the atmosphere.
Yeah, and you just really like walking around. I mean, there's a lot of little, what we would consider alleyways, but they actually technically call a road, but there's cars aren't allowed on the island whatsoever. No cars, no bikes, nothing.
Yep.
But yeah, you really liked walking around, because that's what we just did a lot. We didn't go in there with a plan. We really didn't go in to see anything specific. Yeah. Just walked around. Ate.
One day we went to the island of
Murano. That's where the famous glass factory is. We didn't visit the glass factory, but you did buy some.
I did buy some Murano glass because you gotta have some keepsakes and some gifts to the co-workers. So that's two of our favorite things. So.
Third favorite thing, I think, would actually be when we took the water taxi to Murano.
Yeah.
It does a lot of little stops, but then you also go out into the slightly into a little bit more of the open water to get to the island. I really like boat rides. I like boats. I like being on the water, things like that. So I thought that was really enjoyable. But yeah, so I think that would be another favorite thing. So.
Now, we didn't spend all of our time in Venice. We did actually spend about half a day, almost to a full day in Verona. Now, there are some things that are very interesting there to see. One of the biggest ones was...
Well, biggest as in most popular would be Juliet's balcony.
Yes. I wouldn't say that was my favorite place to go.
So I knew what to expect.
I didn't.
He didn't. Kind of like the Disneyland castle. It's, of course, very popular, so it's very crowded. And then, of course, you've got the statue of Juliet. And, it's very popular to touch her breast for good luck and love. We did not do that. No. We were not even wanting to deal with that crowd. But the thing is, a lot of Shakespeare's plays are set in areas of Italy, but there's actually no proof that he ever even set foot in Italy. So I kind of find that interesting.
Yeah, and just like some hindsight, the area where the balcony is, when I first got to it, I actually thought it was going to be open to like a courtyard or something like that, or a park that you can see out further, or kind of like that. What's that other book in regards to the guy with the long nose?
Serrano?
Yeah, where he's hiding in the bushes and he's telling that person that he left and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was going to be like that. But then walked in, I didn't even think that we're there.
You'll miss it unless you pay attention to the signs and things like that, because it's a small courtyard, but it is actually packed in between buildings.
Yeah.
You'll see a line of people, though. You will see a line of people.
You wouldn't even be able to put a garden inside this courtyard.
A small one if there weren't people in
there. Yeah, it was. That was probably just like one of the things that I was just kind of like, where did Romeo hide, or whatever? If this, I know that Romeo and Juliet, this is a make-up story, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but still,
I was just like, trying to get my camera to take a good picture of the actual balcony or supposed balcony, and I had to wait forever, it seemed, because there's always that one girl or woman or whatever comes out and goes,
Well, it's the perfect picture.
little Instagram, and I'm like, just move out of the way. I just want to take a picture. But I did take it. Hopefully you saw it. But the other thing that was pretty awesome there, we didn't actually go in, but just walking around it was pretty awesome. And I didn't know that there was another one there. But what is it? What was it, babe?
They have a Colosseum, and it is actually the first Colosseum. It is older than the one in Rome, only by about 50 years.
Yeah.
It is smaller. I mean, still significant, but yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought the one in Rome was the one and only, overall Colosseum, especially one that survived.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it was, and actually looking inside it, you saw like a big stage. They're still doing performances and all that stuff inside the Coliseum, which was actually pretty good. It was actually, looking on the outside, it looked like it was in better shape than the actual one in Rome.
They've actually done a lot of work on that one, though,
okay, well,
since we've been there.
yeah.
But yeah, so that was something new that we both learned. And then it's just about an hour train ride from where we actually stayed in Mestra, which is a 10-minute train ride into Venice.
Yes.
And then an hour train ride into Verona. But yeah,
we were almost getting ready to make it a whole trip of Verona and then Florence and then Venice and all that stuff. But I think we just kind of nixed the Florence. Maybe next time we'll go down there, but
you need to catch 2 more of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, definitely.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yes.
Yeah, overall it was a good trip. This was just an impromptu trip that just happened to work out. Cheap Ryanair flights. I had the time off from work, and then he was able to take the next day because it was a family weekend, so it was 4 days anyway.
Yeah.
Other than that, we do have
one lesson learned.
And heed our warning.
Yes, this will cost you.
It costed us.
And it costed us. So, when you are taking the trains, which going from Mestra to Venice, it's only like a 10-minute train ride?
Yeah.
So it's only like €1, €1.50 per person to catch a train ride there. Once you get your ticket, though, make sure that you validate it. Because if you do not validate your ticket and you get on the train, a little 10-minute ride to Venice.
And they happen to be checking tickets, which they don't do all the time.
Not
but
all the
if
time.
they do,
yeah, it's going to cost you.
€30 per person.
Yes, 30
and
euros.
They are not even compromising.
No.
I mean, we had the timestamp as far as when we bought the ticket, timestamp and day, because we were rushing to get the train. And €60.
€60 for a little 10-minute trip. That should only cost us
like
€3. So definitely always validate your ticket. And the thing is that if you're rushing to catch the train, just take your time.
Because
the train will be there within the 20 minutes. It's going to 10 minutes there, stop for a little while, and then come back, and then you can catch the next one. So that was one lesson learned. So heed our warning. Please validate your tickets if you're going to take a trip over there. And
other than that, I mean, it was a great trip. You'll see some of the pictures. One of them is of the Bridge of Sighs, which actually connects the Doge Palace to the what was a prison. And the reason it was called that is because they say that after the prisoners were sentenced and they were being transferred over, you could hear them sigh as they were walking over the bridge. That was actually my favorite bridge. The Rialto Bridge, of course, is really popular. It's fine. I don't know. I mean, I guess, you've seen lots of bridges. We've seen lots of bridges here in America, everything else that are impressive, and it was fine.
Yeah.
I thought the Bridge of Sighs. I don't know, because of how it was and how it was connected to the buildings and
just the history of it.
down and the history of it. Yeah. I thought that one was much more interesting. But in order to go over it, you do have to buy a ticket into the Doge Palace. And so we didn't buy tickets to anything. Originally was going to go to the Peggy Guggenheim Collection Museum because she actually spent I want to say the last 30 years of her life living in Venice. and I was going to do like the Natural History Museum, but then we just decided just to walk
Just
around
relax and just just enjoy the city itself and
stop for a
take a
second.
look at all the gondoliers.
Which we didn't ride.
We did not ride because
we think they're overpriced.
yes, definitely. But we do, we understand, the tradition of it, the history of it, and all that stuff. I mean, we can just go to the Venetian in Las Vegas and sit in a gondolier. Gondola, not in a gondolier. That'd be kind of weird. Ugh. Yeah, anyway.
That part.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like horse carriage rides,
Mhm.
we've never done any of those either because we just always think they're overpriced. I mean, don't get me wrong. You want to do it? You think it's worth it? Great.
Yeah.
It's just not our thing.
Yeah, not our thing.
Because it's a minimum of €80 for a 35 minute ride. And don't expect them to sing because a lot of them don't.
No.
And if they do, that's going to be at least €100.
Yeah, and then you got to think about it. They're not the only ones that are on the water. You got all the water taxis. You got all the personal boats. You've got all the buses.
Yeah, like
the
police,
water
ambulance,
buses.
It's all done
It's
by
all
boats.
by boats. So, you're sitting in the gondola. Just
You'll see footage.
Yeah.
We did take some footage of and pictures of what it's like on the water.
But yeah,
It was a good trip.
it was a good trip. I would highly recommend it. I'm sure we'll probably go back again just for the gelato. Yes, gelato. But we're going to wrap this up. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you take heed in our lessons learned and enjoy the time if you do make it down there. For all you subscribers,
Thank you.
thank you.
Also, let us know, have you been to Venice? Is it on your list to visit? Yeah, we'd love to hear.
Yeah. So definitely put some stuff down in the comments and
We'll see you next
soon.
time.
Bye.